Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Dividend Uncle, your trusted source for all things investment. I know, it's unusual to see me this serious, but today, we're diving into some deep waters. We're talking about one of the most challenging investment cases I've seen in a long time. I want to be upfront, it's a REIT I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. As you know, I'm all about steady, reliable income, but sometimes, the numbers just don't add up. Now, you might have noticed that the REIT landscape has been shifting lately, and as Q3 2023 results roll in, it's become increasingly clear that some REITs are facing quite a storm. Suntec REIT, in particular, has captured my attention, and not in a good way, I must say. This, my friends, is the one REIT I won't touch with a 10-foot pole, and in this video, I'll explain exactly why. Suntec REIT, facing the biggest challenge since IPO? First off, and you know I'm all about those dividends, Suntec REIT has witnessed the largest DPU decline among its peers. A jaw-dropping negative 14% in Q3 2023. And before you start thinking, oh, maybe it's just a tough quarter, let me remind you, about 11% of that DPU was like a lifeline thrown to a drowning sailor. It consisted of capital distribution from the sale of assets. Imagine what would have happened without that? This isn't a DPU trend I want to be part of. Secondly, and this is the kind of thing that keeps Uncle up at night, there's the risk of breaching financial covenants. Suntec REIT's gearing has inched its way up to 42.7%, just a hair's breadth from the 45% limit stipulated in the financial covenants of their loans. Sure, they're negotiating with lenders to push that limit, but folks, there's no guarantee the lenders will play ball. It's like juggling chainsaws in a hurricane. And then there's this peculiar divestment strategy they've got going on. Suntec REIT has been selling about 40% of the strata units they had planned to divest. This divestment can help to lower their high gearing ratio, which is good, right? Well, not so fast. The big question here is Suntec REIT using that money from the sale to lower its gearing? Instead, they've distributed part of it to unit holders, as I mentioned earlier. Lowering that gearing should be beneficial to unit holders in the long run, but that's not the path they've chosen. To make matters worse, analysts are estimating that overseas assets, especially in the UK and Australia, could face declining valuations. The lower valuations will push up the gearing ratio. Now, let's talk about something that can make your hair stand on end: interest rates. Suntec REIT's sensitivity to the impact of increasing interest rates is, frankly, the highest among all the REITs I've got in my dividend toolbox. To illustrate, let's get into the nitty-gritty here. For every 50 basis point increase in interest rates, Suntec REIT's DPU is set to decrease by a whopping 13%. Let that number sink in for a moment. A 13% decline for a relatively modest interest rate hike. Now, if we look at Capital and Integrated Commercial Trust, the situation is quite different. Their DPU is a lot hardier, only decreasing by around 1.6% for every 50 basis point increase in interest rates. It's like comparing a tank to a tricycle, and let's just say I'd rather have that tank in my investment arsenal. But hey, it's not all gloom and doom over at Suntec REIT. I've got to hand it to them, there are some silver linings here. Suntec City Mall and office spaces have been pulling their weight, and they've benefited from the recovery in the Singapore office and retail market. The convention space at Suntec Convention has seen a remarkable resurgence, with the MICE sector doing its thing despite the ongoing pandemic. So there you have it, folks. Suntec REIT is facing a perfect storm, a challenge that's arguably the biggest they've encountered since their IPO almost 2 decades ago. Now, I'm not one to shy away from a storm, but I'll tell you, the combination of high gearing, a low percentage of fixed-rate debt, and the untimely maturity of a massive 900 million Singapore dollars in debt next year. Well, that's a recipe for turbulence that I just don't want to be part of. Now, before we part ways, let's talk about something important. Knowledge is power when it comes to investing, and my mission here is to empower you. If you found this video helpful or even eye-opening, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow my Instagram account. We've got a lot more invaluable insights coming your way. And if you're already part of our investing community, thank you. Your support means the world to me. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and as always, stay financially savvy.